So, we are on stage at the moment and the boys are just setting up. So this is just a quick guide of a day on a Chilli gig isn't as straightforward as normal people would think. So what happens is the boys came in, we got Joe as our sound engineer, we got Stevie there. Steve owns the PA company that we use, and there's another guy, Ricky. Ricky does the lights and all the guys that are associated with him. So they come in about the back at 8. In fact, there's Ricky there and there's Alex. Oh! Ricky, yeah, sorry mate. So they come in, they set up the stage. What the band do, they normally arrive about 11:30, 12 o'clock for a 3 o'clock, about 3 hours before a show. You just basically, when you come to something like this, you just get a blank stage. So we put the risers on. Now we connect them all so that they don't start moving. Drum kit goes on there, percussion, brass and keys, all on those ones. Although it looks like the brass are going to be standing because we've not got enough risers here, but not a major. Then what you get is a wee insight. What happens is, for here, you've got young Andy out there, he's programming the lights. Now he does that pre-show, so he's actually programming all these lights so he can dictate what happens on each song with every cue and every bit and piece that goes on to make the show the Chilli show. But when the show kicks in, Andy's going to move to the back, so it makes it easier for focusing and stuff like that. So anyway, we'll come back. So band are going to load in back door here, so we'll take you. Look, that's as glamorous as that. You get to come in the back door, and then we've got our dressing room here. Dressing room. Whoa. There we go. Dressing room 1. This is the Piper's one, or always has been the Piper's one, and somebody else's kit is in it. So Kyle's a Piper anyway. So there we go. And then you get to come down here. We've got dressing room number 4, which actually, in all the time I've gigged here, I've never used this room at all. I don't think I've actually ever been in it.
It's quite nice.
Aye. You even get a shower in it. Dancers have the cool one. So they have their own custom built one. Dressing room 5. Again. See, chill out between songs, chill out between sets, whatever they want to do. Because dancers don't dance every song. So anyway, on we go. The other cool thing about this gig is that we have a pipe band that normally joins us, and you're sitting going, right, well, where do you put the pipe band? We have an answer in this place, because if we go backstage this way, it's like a rabbit warren. They have their own dressing room. Ta-da!
Not bad.
Did you know that?
No.
This is the Alhambra pipe band dressing room. Please be quiet, stage above. Have you ever seen bagpipes being quiet? That's where, in days gone by, Willie would do his like 5-star moment, and he would just pop up and go ta-da out the middle of the stage. We're both getting a wee bit too old for that now. And then we're out into the main auditorium now. So the first time we did this as well, they actually took out all the seats here, and it holds an extra 400 people. But the seats have to go back in because they're still panto on. And here's the young man that owns the building, Bill. So Bill, we're doing a wee video diary.
Sorry, I had no idea.
No, that's Bill. So we're just talking about the history of the Chillis here and how it means a lot. And
Absolutely, it's become one of these local legends, and it's grown and grown over the years from, how long is it, 10? Is it 10 years?
2007 was the first one here. We're just talking about that 18th of December 2007.
Really? When we were both young men.
Aye, good looking.
Anyway, it's always a pleasure, and so welcome back here.
Thanks, Bill. So yeah, so we've got merchandise spot up there, so you can buy your hat, scarf, beanie, hoodie, jacket, you name it, we've got it. And amazing, again, the other thing is amazing to think that over the course of the 16 years we've developed a whole product line, and people buy our CDs and our t-shirts and our hoodies. It's just very fortunate that we managed to come up with the Chilli logo. Again, I'm not really sure, I think it was just an artist we got to make up a t-shirt, and we're like, that's pretty cool. And it's never really changed much since probably 08 or 09. It's just a remarkable twist of fate, that's the honest answer. Right, so come into the... This is where all the punters will arrive, so they either have seats for downstairs or upstairs. Are we going to run upstairs, Kyle?
Aye.
Run! So, this is halfway. Are we going again?
Oh, God.
Here we have it. The top deck. Two royal boxes as well on either side. Interesting fact about them. Rotten for viewing. We'll go and test them in a minute. Particularly the bottom two, because the PA stacks cut your line of sight and I'm still out of breath. So yeah, so we'll walk down. Must be pretty crap. If you get this seat. So, darling, what did you get me for Christmas? I got you 2 Red Hot Chili Peppers tickets, and they're right at the back. Like there's nobody behind you. These would probably be the best seats in the house, actually. Really, really incredible view of the stage. It's actually, they're testing out the PA system or ringing out the system just now. There you go, I can talk quieter now, so. Yeah. Now, some years actually, and the funny part is if we look up the sky, there is panto snow that Andy sometimes gets a hold of. So it started snowing here, and the sheer look of terror on people's face when you see panto snow, which is just white flakes of stuff coming down on them, is quite hilarious. People think on stage you can't see anything. You can actually see quite a lot coming out in the crowd. You can see people's faces and their reactions and stuff like that. It's honestly quite amazing just standing on that stage watching everybody's reaction in here. And as we said, well, what are we now? 12 o'clock. In 3 hours' time there'll be 1,137 people in and around this venue. And there's Big Joe.
Oh, there now.
Now Big Joe went for a fall in the bath, didn't you, Joe?
I did. I had a wee slip in the bath and I almost broke my arm, but it's all right. We'll manage to push the feathers. We'll be good. I wouldn't be very good at the pipes today, Kevin. But mine, I wouldn't have been very good at the pipes ever anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference.
Let's go. We'll go on to the next destination. The upper royal box. Again, being honest, what a view. Even more so. Right, so I'm standing here, sitting here. You have to lean over to see a bit. Now, Kyle, if you sit yourself down,
Nope.
what can you see?
Nothing.
Nah, doesn't do it for me. Last protocol. We saw it from a distance. It's merchandise. Actually, one of the things I'm going to do away from being in the Chillis, or I already do, is I'm very fortunate that I own or have a part interest in a company called James C. Gillespie Engineering. People have come and gone, and there's been opportunities for new people to come in with new ideas, which I believe has actually probably kept it fresh. If we were the same characters for 16 years, it probably would have finished a long time ago. Whereas it's constantly evolving. It's almost now seen as probably a throughput of, if people want to come and do it for a couple of years, get to know what touring's like, particularly if you're a bagpipe player or a drummer. You wouldn't really get an outlet to try and see what touring life is like with the bagpipes. And I think the best thing about the Chillis is it's given people a platform to come and see what it's like to be on the road as a touring musician, which you probably wouldn't have got the opportunity to do on the extreme that we do it. If you just played bagpipes, you'd probably be confined to a couple of pub gigs, maybe the odd tour here and there with some of the other bands, and basically pipe bands. So it has given young kids an outlet, particularly if you look at who's on stage today. We've got, in the evening, we've got James, Harry, Grant, all came through pipe band circuits. You know, they were all 8, 9, 10 when we first started this band. And some of them came to our DVD. Doogie came to our DVD back in the Fruit Market in 2008, and we're now 11 years on, and he's a police and still does a gigs here and there for us, a full-time, and managed to put a few pennies aside and build a nice lifestyle off of it. So that I see is my role, and probably Willie's role going forward, is just stewardship of the vehicle rather than actually being the guys that stand on stage and jump about the stage and do it. I think for me, my time's coming, and I know that at some point in the near future, Willie's time will be, well, listen, we're just guardians of this now, not necessarily the main guys on stage. And when we first started it, there was all this nervousness that by putting somebody else in, that you might get an adverse reaction to it. And actually, if truth be told, it's been positive, because people or fans have enjoyed meeting the new characters coming along. They enjoy seeing faces that maybe were in the band and go away and come back or take a break, and it's really has, it's given a community spirit around the Chillis. You know, over the years there's been 50 to, well, it must be about 150 people that come through the books of the Chillis, and it's, for me, it's you know, people say, oh, you must be proud of what you achieved. I didn't achieve anything. All I did was help achieve something. The Chillis were a beast in its own rights, and all it needed was a bit of stewardship. But everybody from Stuart, Stevie, Malcolm, Willie and myself, way back at the start, in fact even before Malcolm and myself joined, you know, there was Gavin and Brian. So the original 5 were Stuart, Stevie Graham, Gavin Ogilvie, Brian McLaughlin and Willie. And they did the first couple of gigs in 2002. At that point I was just studying for my chartered accountancy exams, and I was the DEP guy if needed be. And then Brian decided that it wasn't really for him, and he stepped aside, and I took over. And similarly, Gavin had a bit of work issues that he had to deal with, and he was like, listen, I can't commit to it. And at the same time, in May of 2003, Malcolm and myself joined the band, and then we actually formed Red Hot Chili Pipers Limited in September of 05. So for the first few years it was just the 5 of us just jumping about, and then from there, so you know, not one single person could take credit for the Chillis being where it is. It's literally being a collection of everybody coming together, and yeah, I've had my small part in guiding it and making sure gigs are there and making sure the riders are on the table and the theatres are booked. But you know, without Stuart's opening inspiration, without Stevie's character, without Malcolm's bit of fun, you know, Stav, Gary, Chris Russell way back in the day, you know, this place is actually, in all honesty, this place has probably seen them all, and that's the honest truth. You know, going, if you actually think through history, there's very few places that the Chillis have performed at every year from the 07 right through until 19, and I would say 90% of the people that have come and gone in the Chillis or are still performing in it will have played Alhambra, and the only one that's consistent is I've done every single one of them, but not going forward. So I think the last few songs might be a bit emotional for me tonight, but other than that, I'm really looking forward to the day. And you know, it's great that we have an opportunity and a platform that's local to Scotland to allow us to do this. It's not, we definitely don't take it for granted, and it always amazes me when the ticket reports start coming through that, you know, it's sold out again, gee, and you're like, we must do something right, we must entertain. But yeah, I'm looking forward to taking a back seat and letting the young team, not necessarily they have to be that young, just letting the next generation take over where the Chillis go and what they do. I think if you look at that side of it, you know, Stuart was very inspirational in doing the Blast Live tour way back in 08. It was really his stage show and his craft that put that together, and then Willie and myself basically took an extension of that when we did the Live at the Lake in 2014, and it's probably only another couple of years away until we actually do something similar. And you know what, it might not be a bad sight to do something here at some point in the future. and just to mark time. So we'll see what happens.